The redemption of a prodigal child. Scene 1. The fall into darkness. I grew up in church. I knew all the Bible verses, all the songs. But somewhere along the way, I lost myself. I stopped listening, stopped believing. I thought I could do life on my own terms. I was tired of rules, tired of being told what to do. So I ran. I ran as far away from God and my family as I could. I found new friends, new thrills, a new life. At first, it felt like freedom, but slowly, the freedom I chased turned into chains. Drugs, crime, violence. It all came so fast. One bad decision after another until I didn't recognize the person I become. I was lost, truly lost. And the worst part, I didn't care. Scene 2. Rock bottom. But life catches up with you. It always does. I remember the night it all fell apart. I was sitting in a jail cell, staring at the cold, concrete walls. It was quiet, and I could finally hear the voice in my head that I had been drowning out for years. What have you done? How did you end up here? All the lies I had told myself were gone. The illusion of control, the idea that I could do whatever I wanted without consequence, it all shattered in that moment. I thought about my family, about how far I had fallen. And then I thought about God, the God I had turned my back on, the God I had blamed for everything wrong in my life. Scene 3. The cry for help. I didn't know if he was still listening. I didn't know if he even cared anymore. But I was desperate, so I prayed. Not a fancy prayer, just the rawest, most honest cry I'd ever spoken. God, if you're still there, if you still care about me, help me. I can't do this anymore. I didn't expect anything to happen, but something did. It wasn't lightning or a loud voice from heaven. It was peace. Peace in the middle of a mess. Peace that didn't make sense. For the first time in years, I felt God's presence. I felt his love. And it broke me. It was like he had been waiting for me all along. I had run so far, but he was still there, waiting, arms open wide. Scene 4. The journey home. When I got out of jail, I didn't know where to start. I had burned every bridge. I had hurt so many people, but I knew one thing: I had to go home. I was afraid of what I would find. Would they forgive me? Would they even want me back? But as I walked up to my parents' door, I didn't see judgment. I didn't see anger. I saw love. My mom opened the door, tears in her eyes, and she hugged me like I had never left. My dad, he just looked at me and said, "Welcome home, son." I didn't deserve it. But that's the thing about grace. It's not something you earn. It's a gift. I realized in that moment that God's love is the same. No matter how far you run, no matter what you've done, he's always there, waiting to welcome you back home. Scene 5. Forgiveness and transformation. It wasn't an easy road. There were still consequences, still pain to deal with. But I wasn't alone anymore. God had given me a second chance, and I wasn't going to waste it. I joined a recovery group at my church, surrounded myself with people who cared about me. Every day was a battle to leave the old life behind, but with God's strength, I slowly began to heal. I started to see myself the way God saw me, not as a failure, not as the mistakes I had made, but as his child, forgiven, loved, redeemed. Scene 6. A new purpose. Today, I stand here as living proof that no one is too far gone. No one is beyond God's reach. I went from a life of crime and rebellion to a life of purpose and faith, not because of anything I did, but because of what God did for me. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. That's my story. I was lost, but now I'm found. And if God can do it for me, he can do it for anyone. Maybe you feel like you've run too far, that you've made too many mistakes to come back. But I'm here to tell you that God's love is greater than anything you've done. His grace is deeper than any pit you've fallen into. Scene 7. Closing. No matter where you are right now, no matter how far you've strayed, God is waiting for you. He's not mad. He's not disappointed. He's ready to welcome you home. Don't wait until it's too late. Come back to him. He's in control. He always has been. Trust in his grace, believe in his love, and let him lead you back to where you belong. Subscribe for more inspirational stories and reminders that God is always in control.